Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Escavalier with the new move, RAZOR SHELL in the Open Ultra League. And I did not really expect a lot from this Pokemon, and I think most people didn't, but honestly it went way better than I expected. I hope that the gameplay doesn't just put all the losses in the beginning again, but it looks already very solid here that we're going to have the Walrein against us. And the big issue, of course, with this Pokemon is that Counter got nerfed. If Counter didn't get nerfed for the Escavalier, we would have had a way stronger Pokemon. But with the Counter nerf, it is a bit more difficult for this Pokemon to really succeed. But still, it actually worked out well for me, which I didn't really think about this Pokemon, because it is actually a good typing that this Pokemon has. It is cool characters Pokemon has. It is the pacing that's a bit of the issue, but I also don't really know on how to fix this with the current moves that are in the game. So yeah, here we were able to get a shield advantage as well as a switch advantage, as well as getting the Weezing against our Steelix, which can now go for an Earthquake and knock out the opponent. If they go for the overheat here, happy days for them, they're gonna get a ton of damage in. But it doesn't really matter. Literally doesn't really matter. I can use a shield here. It's going to be the Brutal Swing. I know that we're going to be able to survive it because of the double debuff anyway, but I still rather go for the shield. Play it safe, go for the Earthquake, get the KO, and with this we're going to keep alignment, we're going to keep the Gastron against our lead, and we're going to be able to win the battle. And so we're going to move on to the next opponent. We're going to have the Gliscor here against us in the lead. That's going to be a very favorable lead for us. You're going to see the swap out now into the Weezing. And we should be able to align ourselves again with this matchup, because we can go for the Psychic Fangs. And Psychic Fangs is going to allow us to drop the opponent's defense while doing super effective damage, while buffing our own fast move, of course, with it. Which is going to chunk away quite a lot of the opponent's health. And as they're going to go for the Brutal Swing, I know that I'm not in the range yet for an overheat. We got a deny here on our fast move, which is a bit weird, but it's still going to be okay. We can go for another Psychic Fangs against the opponent. This is going to do some super effective damage to put them into farm down range, guaranteed. But I still would think actually they're still survive an overheat from this range. Steelix is just so bulky. By the way, I'm actually a bit sorry for the team, because we have two very bulky Pokemon in here. I actually wanted to have the Galarian Moltres in the lead, but I just didn't have this one built yet for the Open Ultra League, and I only have 3,000 Stardust, and they are 300,000 Stardust, not 3,000, 300,000 Stardust after building this Pokemon. And building also the Excelgor, which I want to showcase a little bit later today, so definitely stay tuned for this one. If you want to see the showcase as well, would really appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe here as well to the channel. It would help me out quite a bit. And we will see here these Steelix in the back. Of course, great thing for the Escavalier, but also RAZOR SHELL can come in clutch here, having the option to drop the opponent's defense for a 50% chance. We don't get it here. Would have been cool, but still a super effective damage, at least against the opponent. We are going to be forced to go for a shield here. It's going to be the Earthquake, and with this, it's going to be a good game. Manabus against Talonflame. That is going to be a matchup I have to stay in, and I also have to kind of play out, because our backline, we have the Pokemon Escavalier, which is going to be double weak to the fire typing. That's the only weakness of Escavalier. And so we cannot allow the opponent to align the Talonflame against this Pokemon. Otherwise, you're just going to lose space here instantly. But they decided to use a shield here, which I found quite interesting. And it's going to go for another charge move here. And funnily enough, they decided to go for another shield here. And so now we have a 2-shield advantage, but we don't really have anything to get rid of this Talonflame. And they, I guess, just know this, because they decide to just commit all their shields and all their flame charges against my Talonflame, against my Manabus here. But yeah, I can go for another Dark Pulse, and now I have to swap out into my Steelix in order to do another fast move damage. But I actually can still go for another charge move here. I have to kind of use a shield here. It's going to be the Fly, which is kind of weird. Like, if I let the move go through, the opponent would have been in such a bad spot. But now they can go for the Flame Charge, do a ton of damage. And they're going to have here the Cresselia in the back, which would have been great for our lead, which would have been great for our Steelix, which is not so great for our Escavalier, because we need to have a Mega Horn or like fast move damage that's going to really help with counter. So sadly, our best answers are both kind of gone for the Cresselia, but we still have Escavalier. So maybe we still have a chance here. I'm going to try to catch the move, which does work out quite well for me. Going to sacrifice my Manabus with that one. Now it's down to Escavalier to win the battle. 2 drill runs are going to be easily enough to knock them out. They go into the Talonflame. I sure went for the full farm down. Getting this move off here and just avoiding the damage, I'm not too sure if this was smart. They're going to have the Steelix here in the they're actually still in the back. I guess at the end of the day, maybe it was actually the best way of playing this matchup, the way I did it. But yeah, I don't know, maybe not actually. 2 drill runs look like there would be enough damage to knock them out. So actually, maybe it would have not been the best way. I think I should have just been for the full farm run against them. Here, I cannot go for the full farm run. I'm going to go for a drill run now. And as the opponent going to get KO'd, they still have a move on the Cresselia here, and this is going to sadly be a good game. I don't really have a chance here. If they would have not been able to go for the Focus Blast, I maybe had actually a chance. So maybe if I would have went full farm down against the Talonflame, that would have been a victory for us. But we will never know. Great lead, but I don't really know what to do against the next opponent's Pokemon, which is going to be the Primeape. I decided to go for the Aerial Ace, maybe show for a little bit more of an overfarm as well. I did overfarm by quite a bit, but of course I kind of want to go for close combat now, doing some neutral damage against me, and want to get my answer to their lead a little bit lower. And I'm just going to use a shield here, and I should maybe count the move, because I don't think they actually would have had the move yet here, but they're going to get the shield. They're going to be at -2, and I'm going to be able to go ahead and go into my Steelix, which hopefully going to be able to go for the full farm down here. But we have to see on how this is going to go. Shield's coming up from us. It is going to be a close comment from the opponent. And they swap out into the Cobalion, where we're at least going to get still to an Earthquake. And honestly, maybe Earthquake is a bit too obvious here. I should have maybe went for the Psychic Fangs, trying to get the shields from the opponent. But yeah, the opponent decides to use a shield here, which is very smart. Super effective hit, stab hit. Would have definitely done a ton of damage here against the opponent there, but they decide to go for the correct play, use a shield. And as you all see here, Escavalier is coming in next. We're gonna try our best to go for the full counter down there as well. And the opponent goes for a Sacred Sword. We can survive 2 of them, which is kind of great. They go into the Drifblim, and my only hope here is that Manabus still has enough health with the bulk that we have on this Pokemon to survive a hit from the opponent. If they don't have that, like, it's basically game over here. If Manabus is not going to be able to survive the Icy Wind, it's game over, because we don't really have anything to hit the Drifblim with our Pokemon in the back. But we can still survive. We can get the KO here as well with the Dark Pulse that is coming through. And they can go for the full farm down here, but I still am close to the Drill Run. I know that I can still take a hit unless it's going to be a Stone Edge. And so the opponent goes for the Sacred Sword. I can go for the full farm against the Primeape and now a Drill Run in order to knock out the opponent's Cobalion. And again, Escavalier actually is doing some good stuff here so far. The last loss that we had, or like the only loss so far that we had, was against the Talonflame. And now we're gonna go up into the next matchup, encountering the same Pokemon again. So hopefully this time around, maybe they're not running Flame Charge. Flame Charge was really awkward for our backline. If they actually have Fly and Brave Bird, they'll match up for the Talonflame against the Steelix is actually not that great. So we will see here Fly coming through, which very likely indicates that they are not running the Flame Charge, but the Brave Bird. They go for another Fly here, that's a bit annoying. I go for the Dark Pulse. I should be able to go for the Dark Pulse spam here anyway. I should get to another one afterwards. They decide to let the move go through, and I can catch the move here onto the Steelix, which is perfect because now the opponent is even in counter downrange. Fly coming through doesn't do damage, and they swap out into the Gastrodon. That is going to be a bit more problematic because I don't really know how to get rid of this Pokemon. I know that an Earth Power is going to knock us out here. That's why I decided to rather go for the guaranteed damage with the Psychic Fangs, trying to drop the opponent's defense stat. So we might do a little bit more damage with our own Steelix as well as with later on the Manabust here. I should still be able to take a hit, and I kind of want to keep the shield, of course, for my Escavalier. They still have 2 shields left, which is going to make it very, very difficult for us to win, but maybe Escavalier still has a chance here. They decided to use a shield, so we equal on shields, but they're sadly going to have the Feraligatr in the back. And they are just going to have the better Pokemon here. Like, that's the thing as well. Feraligatr, with the pacing it has, it's just not comparable to what Escavalier is doing here currently. Like, Escavalier is just not going to be able to do the same stuff that, Feraligatr can do. They're just going to be more spammy, doing more damage because they have a harder hitting stab move. We don't actually have a single stab move here on this Pokemon, which is kind of mad. But with this, we will see the Drill Run coming through. We're going to swap out into our Manabus to try to catch the move, which does work out. But yeah, we're sadly a little bit too low in order to have any chance here of still winning this battle. Zapdos is, of course, kind of the worst possible Pokemon you would imagine like you can encounter here, so that is not so great. But let's see, we're gonna have here the Psychic Fangs coming through against the Abomasnow. That is also going to be a very, very bad Pokemon to encounter for us because, Abomasnow is going to have a great typing against my lead and my Say Swap, and I honestly did not really expect this Pokemon when building the team. Abomasnow really kind of vanished. It was really good actually at one point. Like, there was a point in Great League and Ultra League where Abomasnow was like top tier, I think, when the walls still did a little bit more damage. This Pokemon was actually really, really good, but nowadays not so much. But as you will see here, we're gonna get the defense drop from our charge move there, which is kind of cool. We will have here as well the opponent going down, which is gonna be great for us. We're gonna try to go for another charge move. It is going to be the Razor Shell against the Zapdos, getting the defense drop again, 50% chance, really lucky for us. But it's gonna be a bit awkward because now they're gonna go for a Drill Peck, get us low. They can fully farm us down. We of course have the Steelix, but they can swap out. And what am I gonna do against the Abomasnow now? It is a bit awkward. The only saving grace here is going to be that the opponent is going to have the Icy Wind or Weather Ball. Weather Ball just would go for pure damage and would be faster. which is not as ideal for us currently because, yeah, we are in a position where we just want to hit those aerial aces, not about the damage that we do. So, like, getting debuffed from the Icy Wind is okay for us. And so we're going to be able to now go for another aerial ace. And this is going to, yeah, allow us to go back into our Steelix. We try our best to go for the full farm on here, but sadly they're going to go for the debuff with the Icy Wind. I'm forced to go for the, Psychic Fangs against the Zapdos. And we should be able to go ahead and go for hopefully the full farm on against the opponent. Let's see on how this is going to go. It's going to be the drill pack coming in, and we can go for the full farm now, which is great, but I think that just let me. I think for them, if they would have went for the charge move, Mandibuzz maybe would have been able to get enough energy to go for another charge move. I was hoping I could farm them down here. I cannot, and so they're gonna win the battle. Well played by them, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, we're going to have here the Virizion coming in. That is going to be a bit of an awkward one, but let's see how this is going to go. We're going to go for the Psychic Fangs. It's going to allow us to get some, yeah, defense drop here, of course, guaranteed. Super effective damage as well. Not doing that much damage anyway, but it's still going to be fine here. Sacred Sword is coming through. And we will see that the opponent gonna go for another charge move. It's going to be the Sacred Sword again. We can go for the Psychic Fangs. This is going to be fine. This is going to allow us to get some more damage onto them. And we will see here that the opponent can go for the full farm. We still have a decent answer. We're going to have now the Skuntank against the Escavalier. Can Escavalier win us this battle? We have to see on how this is gonna go. But as we will see here, the opponent is going to go for a Flamethrower, a move that you usually don't run on this Pokemon anymore, because Crunch and Trailblaze seems to be the best moveset on this one. But Flamethrower is cool, of course, if they have like tech moves like this here, but I was lucky that we were able to use a shield there, because I actually really would have liked to just not use a shield there, generally speaking, because I know that I'm gonna need to use some shields here as well. So yeah, it's down to Escavalier to still win the battle. It's going to be Gustlord in the back. That is still possible though, like it's not that it's going to be game over. I can go for the charge move, get the shield, and get the defense drop, which is kind of cool. And I can go for another Razor Shell to try to get even more defense drops against the opponent. Does it work out? They actually let the move go through and they don't get the defense drop, which is really annoying, but they're going to go for another charge move here, which is going to be the Dragon Claw against the Mandibuzz. And Mandibuzz can just overfarm so much and go for the aerial aces here as well, which are now boosted because of the opponent having basically the defense drop from the Razor Shell. We will see here very soon the swap out. I still want to go for the charge move because I think it is my best play of going there to do it like this basically, because what we can do now is we're gonna be able to go for another aerial ace afterwards, and we kind of just get the opponent lower and lower, that the counter is going to be enough to knock them out eventually from our Escavalier, which is going to be great. But also, let me know down below, how was the community today? I only played for half an hour in the car as well. It is just cold outside. It is not really the most exciting community today, which everybody knows as well. So yeah, as you will see here, we're going to be able to go for the full farm on, still win the battle, and we can move on to the second to last battle. Horrific lead. We're going to swap out here. The Registeel is coming in. This is going to be at least okay for us because we still have the Earthquake, but I'm not too sure we're going to be able to actually do enough damage with Earthquake in order to really have a good time here. And as we will see, we're going to be able to go for the Earthquake there. It's going to allow us to get a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough for us to farm them down. And so, yeah, it is going to be, a little bit of a difficult one. I tried to still go for the Psychic Fangs just on the CMP, so maybe I can fully farm them down. But sadly, we're gonna go for the full farm now here with the Escavalier. This is our only way of really winning this one. The lead is so bad that I have to hope there's something in the back that we can deal with. It's going to be the Feraligatr. I tried to catch a move, it didn't work out, and they just overfarmed so much. I just gonna give up here at this point because they were swapping actually into the Clefable already. You didn't see it, but they swapped out into the Clefable, which is smart, and yeah, that was just hard count at the end. Okie dokie, final battle for today. Again, hopefully you had a great community day. Again, it was most likely one of the lamest community days that I have ever seen. Honestly, I honestly can't remember a community day with a less hype around it than this one. But it's also the February community day, which usually is more worse Pokemon, and the next ones are going to be a bit better. The next one very likely going to be something like Skeledirge, because the signature move recently got found in the code as well with Torch Song. So that's going to be an interesting one then, but we don't know when this is going to get revealed. But anyway, as you will see here for the final battle, we have a Gustlord against us again. Hopefully we're going to be able to win the battle here against the opponent. It is going to be the Brutal swing coming through from the opponent. We can try our best to go for another drill run here. Drill run is going to connect against them. This is going to allow us to get some nice damage in, get the KO. We have shields down, but we have switch advantage, and we're going to have also the Annihilate in the back, which can now take a drill run. I can actually swap out because both Pokemon are kind of weak to the Mana Bus. Like both Pokemon you can at least deal with, and as you will see, if Feraligatr comes back in, we can go for the Aerial Ace. This is looking really, really solid, as we will have now the opponent going for very likely an Ice Beam here to get us low. Let's see on how this is going to go. It's going to be the Ice Beam coming in, and we can go for the, let's see, nothing, I guess. We're going to see the opponent going for another charge move, and we can go for the full farm down now. That's going to be fine as well, because Steelix is coming in, and we kind of have to rely on, getting the Psychic Effect damage in here. So, as we will see here, the opponent is going to get kind of low. We can go for the full farm down, and I hope it's not going to be a close combat. A lot of people are running Ice Punch right now, but as we will see, it is close combat, and we still survive. Like, Steelix is an absolute monster, like an absolute monster for sure. We will see here that we can still win a battle with the Escavalier, and that's going to be it for this video. A lot of wins actually with this Pokemon, which I didn't expect. I climbed up over the 3000 ELO range, which is mad, and we'll see you then. Bye bye.